afternoon. Welcome to Pundits on Flip TV, where we look at topical issues and we have an extensive discussion on some of the reports that is developing reports on the social media and also on the newspapers. There is a breaking news about the new person that's going to stand as the VP to Atiku when we look at the PDP presidential candidacy. And that person is no other person. Let me read the story. Delta State Governor Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa is the favorite to emerge as the running mate of the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Former governor of Delta State and former senator on the platform of the PDP had confirmed the developments to the Punch on Thursday. We are going to be looking at also statutory delegates are voting in election. Now they are having a role with the federal government. And we'll also look at other reports. But let me start with this, the emergence of Okowa. I have with me Honorable and Comrade Ido Israel. Let's look at Okowa emerging as the VP to Atiku.
Well, it is not surprising, but equally it is surprising. It is not surprising because already for days now, we have a short list of possible people, aspirants that were screened and scrutinized for the position. But what is surprising there is the choice of Okowa, the gentleman amongst them all. And if you look at the way things are going in the polity in the country, I've told you that this is a country where we have jettisoned everything that is constitutional, and we have been going through conventional and unconventional means of going about things. And if you look at the brouhaha that has been generated by the choice of who becomes the vice president candidate of the parties, you will realize that the brouhaha itself is even more vociferous than even when we want to choose the presidential candidate, because of the region, the interest, and so many other things that are now attached to who becomes the vice president candidate of whoever. And if you look at it, I think I want to believe that ordinarily the Constitution of Nigeria, that's I think section 141 and section 142 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria stipulates that a candidate of a party shall pick a vice presidential candidate for himself before the deadline set by the electoral umpire.
Yeah, I believe that's what happened here, because it was a choice of Atiku.
That is where I'm going. So ordinarily it should have been an Atiku thing. Immediately he won, it should have just gone into consultation with people. But given the dynamism, the secularity, the modernization, and the effects that are now imported into the making of a vice presidential candidate, it took the party to set up a 17-man committee to help him scrutinize, to help him pick people, and eventually I think 4 people were picked. Udom Emmanuel, the governor of Akwa Ibom; Emeka Edioa, the former deputy speaker of the...
I thought the Southeast said they don't want any vice president.
They said they don't want it, and now he has to. And what the committee recommended is not what Atiku eventually did, and that's why I am acting on that section of the Constitution that empowered him to choose the vice presidential candidate by himself and not by what the screening committee or what the NWC of the party might want to do. Because eventually, out of the 4 scrutinized, they settled for the Rivers State governor. That is a governor.
That's the National Working Committee.
That's what the National Working
Committee.
Of the National
Working,
okay. The choice of the National Working Committee and the screening committee that screened the candidate eventually picked Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, but the presidential candidate himself knows better by picking Okowa, and
knows better because there are sentiments that Wike as a person is let me use your word, viputerous. Is a viputerous.
That's why I said he knows better, because the things surrounding the personality of a Governor Wike, you understand, he may not transform as a good vice presidential candidate because he has had altercations with virtually everybody is controversial, is open, and is very is rude. At let's just use that word, because there are occasions, circumstances that he has been confrontational, and you will not want an Atiku. You understand that prior to, you realize that Atiku himself was once a vice president to a very bold and very big man in an Olusegun Obasanjo, but then Atiku was still seen to be very active as at that time. So an Atiku will not want a vice president that will not listen to him. And Atiku will not want a vice president that will always be militating against him. And Atiku will not want a situation whereby, because if you look at it, peradventure Atiku works on the same page with Olusegun Obasanjo as the president that time, when he muted the idea of a third term. If to say they were in agreement, probably Obasanjo will still be the president of Nigeria for now. But an Atiku, because of the dynamism of an Atiku, he decided not to go with it. He frustrated it, truncated it, exposed the plot, and worked against his principle. So I believe that he, like I always say, that he who fails to learn by history will be condemned to repeat it. And Atiku will not want a repeat performance of picking a vice president that will be stronger or will be more volatile than him, and that may bring the choice of an Okowa, who is seen as a diplomat, a gentleman, an astute politician, someone that is
astute politician. I don't think Okowa is popular in the south against that of Wike.
Yes, if you look at the popularity, in fact, from what I'm reading prior to, before we enter the program, from what I am reading already, some people are vituperating that Atiku has already lost 1.5 million Rivers State votes because it's not as popular, because Okowa is not as popular as Wike. And if you look at it truly, Okowa is not as popular as Wike, but Okowa is seen as a political, I don't know the way
balance.
I don't know the way they describe him, but they said he has this kind of meek way of going about things. Don't forget that he is the secretary of the convention planning committee that produced Atiku, and he is said to be one of the few that has always delivered whenever he is given a job or a role to perform by the party, you understand, without making noise, without encomiums, without shouting about it. They said he has always made things happen, achieved things secretly without making fuss about it, unlike a Wike that everybody knows is always effusive, is always rancorous, is always controversial, and is always wanting to draw attention. So I don't know why I don't know the permutation of Atiku, but what I know is that picking a south person is not, to me, too much of an advantage to him, because the agitation is for a southeasterner person, and I know.
But there seems to be no one from the southeast that will pull the weight.
But there is an Emeka Ihedioha now. Yes, and Emeka Ihedioha
does it seem to be a force to reckon with?
So you are comparing Emeka Ihedioha and Okowa. I even think Emeka Ihedioha is even more popular than an Okowa. Yes, from my own political perspective and from the way and manner those people have acted. But for an Atiku to pick a south person in Okowa that is gentle, we see. Time will surely tell what he thinks and hope to achieve by not picking a southeasterner and by not picking a Wike that everybody feels or believes or hope that if he pairs with an Atiku may give him more votes in the south and even part of the southeast, because there is always this ambience and synergy between the south and the southwest. Southeast. They can always go the same way if they have a united front and if they agree to work together. But what I am from the feelers, from what I am hearing, I don't think the choice of an Okowa goes down well with people. People are expecting.
Does it go down well with you?
People are expecting a Wike or an Udom Emmanuel. You said, does it go down well with me? The choice of Atiku himself, a northerner, emerging as the candidate of the opposition party, did not go down well with me. So And that has really affected my bearing. It has affected my thinking, because I was expecting, at least every Nigerian expect, that we are tired of the ruling party and the opposition should give us a viable candidate, but that the opposition party decided to throw it open by not zoning it to where it should go in the first instance, to me is a wrong step in the wrong direction, and that has weighed down my support, my belief.
So whatever that comes from Atiku,
whatever that comes from that place, I leave it to them. They have their permutations, they know what they are doing. In fact, yesterday somebody, a pundit like me, after going through my wall, said with the way and manner I've been reacting on the candidates, it seems I don't have a candidate yet, and I try to within me scrutinize, and I've come to realize that I am not comfortable and I'm not happy with the choices we are making and with the ways and manners things are going.
Let's go to APC.
They have chosen a vice presidential candidate, but there is a caveat here. Yes, you said we should go to the APC, but before we go to the APC, there are so many things people are not aware of, and part of it is that the deadline for tomorrow is just for the submission. That the election is still 8 months away. I think there is a provision in INEC that gives room for substitution of candidature, and I think with the current heat that we are generating from the two parties may pick people that you call pseudo vice president to fill the vacancy, while with the caveat, with the intent to replace with somebody else or someone else later.
Okay, let's dwell on the. Would there be crisis in the PDP? Hence the choice of Okowa.
I don't see anything like that, because the personality a Wike has built, and the controversy surrounding his personality as an Nyesom Wike, not even as a governor of Rivers, will not give him that he will not have that temerity to go to APC. I don't see him going to APC because
working against the party
because of a particular Rotimi Amechi. I don't see Rotimi Amechi and Wike sitting on the same table, and I think all of them agreed prior to the convention in Abuja, including Wike himself, that they will agree with whatever decision the party takes, and they will not leave the party or work against the interest of the party. And part of what are part of those electoral reforms that was signed to law is the fact that somebody like a Wike now said, I don't know, maybe they are not aware, but probably Atiku is aware. From the new electoral reforms that I heard, it is impossible for anybody that has contested for an election, you understand, to contest for something else in that same electoral year. So that means if that electoral process is going, the reform is going to follow, then a Wike is not even qualified to be a vice president, because he has already contested for the president under the party, which makes him unqualified, and probably that is why an Okowa is considered ahead of Wike and Udom Emmanuel, because I had Udom Emmanuel to pick ticket for the presidency.
If you're just joining us, the Delta State Governor, if Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa has been or has emerged as the running mate of Atiku prior to the elections as a vice presidential candidate. Let's look at what's happening with the APC Northeast, Northwest lobby, APC Tinubu over, because now, as you said, it is the presidential aspirant or flag bearer of the party that has the prerogative to choose who his or her running mate will be. Okay, while Tinubu and the governing party may likely unveil the party's vice presidential candidate today, it was gathered that as of last night, interested members from the two geopolitical zones, including state governors, were still engaged in intense lobbying to become running mate to the APC standard bearer. This is even as the People's Democratic Party, yes, have chosen there's also a saying that Shetima.
You see, I always tell you that APC is a party of abracadabra. You don't follow anything that is rumored or insinuated from APC. You listen to the official pronouncement from the party or from the flag bearer. That is why when they said there is a consensus, we later heard there will be no consensus. When they said there will be primary, we later know there will be primary. So what has been happening, the stakeholders, the powers that be, the factors, the elements in APC are so heterogeneous that they always don't agree with themselves until the last minute, which is why the only thing that is sacrosanct that we are aware of here is that settling for a Muslim ticket. Despite that, the thing, gained the opprobrium of the people, massive opprobrium of the people. People felt, even if they are not going to support, you understand, APC or to vote for Tinubu, they felt that it is illogical, it is irrational in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country like Nigeria that you should be discussing a Muslim ticket. But we have forgotten that this government ideology, this government way of life is simply based on nepotism, and anything that is built on nepotism will always have sentimental and irrational ways of decision making, which is why we are discussing yesterday or day before yesterday we were talking about competence over religion. But I am able to let you realize that given the current state of the nation, given the fact that we are multifaceted, multi-religious, multi-dimensional, multi-ethnical, and given the current state of the nation that is going towards balkanization, towards division, it will be unhealthy, it will be unethical, it will be irrational for the party to go for a Muslim, but they have settled for it. And like we said, we know that it is the prerogative of a candidate to pick his vice. You understand? But with what we have seen in the PDP and with what is happening in the APC, it seems those people have become paper tigers, that they can no longer take decisions on their own, that they have to rely on the whims and caprices of the party, which may not be advantageous to the person. And that is why the people you are considering a Shetima, a Ganduje that was said, and an El-Rufai that people have seen not to be, people, one of the major disadvantage of an El-Rufai is his inability to manage the religious crisis in Kaduna, that is a Muslim Christian state. You understand? And you wonder if such a person becomes a vice president, how detribalized he can be. So you are talking of a Shetima that few people knows, that has not done anything serious, and you are talking of competence. If you want to talk of competence, you talk of a Zulum. And I think from what I heard, I am beginning to love Professor Zulum more and more. I believe that amongst the APC governors of all the 19 other state governors and of all the 22 APC governors, I don't think anybody performed excellently more than Professor Zulum of Borno State. But he opted out of the vice presidential race because he is a Muslim, and he agreed, he is of the opinion that they should do things in a proper way. If you are talking of competence, I think a Zulum should be considered, even if he's a Muslim. But the other factors you are using to pick whoever Muslim you want to pick, I don't know. In fact, feelers had it that even Shetima is no longer in the race for the VP, that Tinubu now, from what we hear, is considering the governor of Katsina State, that's the President Muhammadu Buhari home state governor, that's Masari
Aminu.
Aminu Masari, a former speaker of the House of Representatives, that is purportedly even older than Tinubu, because officially the official age of Tinubu is 70.
Official age or the age is age.
The official age of Tinubu is 70.
Is it an official age or your normal age?
They are all using their official ages now. If he's not using his official age, how can Tinubu be 70 and his daughter be 61? Did he give birth at 9? So the Masari is officially 72. I don't now know whether Masari is not using his own official age, whether it's but in a situation where you have too many queens, I don't think it's healthy enough for us, because even the Masari, from the look of things, if you see Masari from afar, you will know that this person is not healthy, is not physically agile, and the work may be too meticulous for him. But like I said, it is the cabal it is them that controls what happens.
We are not talking about the Labour Party.
For us.
We are not talking about the Labour Party.
The Labour Party candidate is currently in Egypt. And
currently, or he's back?
He's not back now. He's for 3 days now. He went there the day before, so he's supposed to come. I believe that all things being equal, he's supposed to be back today. And I know that by the thing closes by 6 p.m. tomorrow. So we are expecting from Philas. What we had is that he's going to pick a northern Muslim. But what we are expecting is how powerful, how mighty, how politically relevant is the person that is about to pick. Not forgetting that he has been receiving bashes. Like I said majority of Peter Obi supporters are on social media, and now I think the opposition or the people that did not want Obi to be the president, you understand, are now working towards a bring him down syndrome policy, because you can see that day before yesterday, Peter Obi tweeted that he's going to Egypt to go and study how they do their governance there, why things are good there, and you will see that the reaction from the people has been an uproar because people are now like, so you that you want to be president, you did not even know how to govern, you did not know how other people rule before. It is now that you have collected ticket that you want to start learning how to, and people are like complaining. A particular Tinubu is in.
What is your take? What's your take on his travel to?
The travel to me, because people are like Obi lied.
No, not people, you.
People are like Obi lied to us. Obi lied to us because later we got to realize that what he went for in Egypt is not what he tweeted that he wants to go for. That he actually went for an AGM, annual general meeting of Afrimex Bank, because Obi is first and foremost a businessman before he becomes a politician. I don't know if you know that. So he went for an AGM and he told Nigerians that he's going to understudy how they govern. So people now feel like
there's a picture of him understudying.
Yes, that you have not even become president, you are already lying to us. You are already
lying.
Yes, now people assume that
when there's a picture of him understudying,
sir.
And I think that picture is up. Let's look at the picture.
I saw the picture. I've seen the picture.
So there's nothing lying here.
No, the picture is an aftermath. The picture is an aftermath because yes, you can go. The real reason why he went to Cairo, to Egypt, was to attend the AGM, a 3 days, 15th to 18th of. There
are some information they might want to divulge to you. So that, I think maybe that is what he wanted to divulge to his supporters.
At this point in time, he who must go into equity must go with clean hands. It's not expected or supposed to be seen to be lying or to be
no.
You understand?
He wasn't lying.
There is no reason why did he need to hide information?
He's going to Egypt to understudy, and he did so.
Why did he need to?
There is an evidence in front of us.
Why didn't he tell us that he's attending an AGM, and when he gets there,
must he tell you everything he does?
It's now the sign.
Must he tell you everything he does?
He's now the signature of I. He's now a public person, so everything that has to do with him now has to be known.
Personal issue.
In fact, even yesterday, for you to know that his people, his enemies are more than him. Another picture went online yesterday, went viral yesterday, displaying him flying an economy to that Egypt. When people are like, so when now you started flying economy, you understand, you have elevated your own status, your nomenclature.
And
when
economy and business class, which one is which one is higher? Economy and business class, which one is for VVIP?
He has not been entering economy before. You understand?
He had said it. He confirmed in an interview that almost all his life he had been even as governor of Anambra State.
As a businessman.
He has been entering economy.
Okay, so and people felt that
So the economy part of it is not
anti-people. People felt that he's living above
economy.
He's living
economy is for the ordinary person.
Living above his means. All I'm trying to let you know here is that the forces that are militating against Obi are trying to see
loopholes.
Are trying to see loopholes, are trying to turn everything he's doing into a disadvantage for him, so as to whittle down his fast rising popularity. I would not disagree with you that currently Peter Obi is the most popular of all the candidates, you understand, if you want to use popularity. But aside being popular, you understand, which literally we can count as paper tigerism that did not materialize into votes, you understand. Aside from being popular, there are forces that are interested in bringing him down so that he will not, you understand.
Let's look at Father Mbaka.
Up to
Mbaka, his comment on Peter Obi. Did you?
I have always told you that one of the major problems of an Igbo man becoming a president of this country is the Igbo people themselves. You understand? They've always not had one voice, and that is why it will not be surprising for a Father Mbaka to be calling Peter Obi. It will not be surprising for him to be calling him a stingy man, though he clarified that he did not say he's a bad man, but that he's a stingy man. You understand? I don't know whether that is an advantage to him or a disadvantage. And he equally went further by saying that a stingy man cannot become the president of Nigeria. And you will see that a Father Mbaka is an Igbo man. A Father Mbaka, whether you like him or not, whether you hate him or not, has his own followership too. A Father Mbaka has his own voice too, that he has some people that listen to that.
2014 or thereabout, he said Buhari is the Messiah.
He said Buhari is the Messiah, and
that God has brought
Buhari for us, and people have seen the messianic
what he
meant by that. So, and for now, maybe his own is going to be, maybe if he prophesy good to you, it will turn bad, and if he prophesy bad to you, it will turn good.
Yes, this is what he said. He said if Peter Obi wins the presidency, he's going to end his adoration ministry.
So probably let us now see, maybe his cause is his prayer, or his prayer is his cause. Because when he was giving us Buhari in 2014, we thought he was praying, but he was cursing. And we have seen, you understand, the manifestation of who he sold for us then. So now probably maybe he's been against Obi will be a blessing in disguise for Obi, because already people are not taking the Father Mbaka himself serious any longer. But that does
over 130,000 people unfollowed him
because of that singular statement. But that does still not mean that statement, he has made the statement, he has made it, and he has his own I think unlike look at when Tinubu was in Ekiti on Tuesday for the rally for the gubernatorial election there, you understand, when they were there, when they were introducing all the governors, the Ekiti state governor Fayemi, when he introduced all the governors, somebody now whispered into him, and he now called him back that he has not properly introduced somebody here, and he now reintroduced Governor Dapo Abiodun as the governor Eleyi of Ogun State. What am I trying to arrive there? That is to tell you that whatever is an internal crisis of the APC has been settled within them. They did not see it as a crisis. They did not make a mole out of a molehill there. They did not make it something. In fact, they've now turned it to a joke. And you will see that immediately after the primaries, Bola Tinubu swung into action and tried to close ranks. He met with virtually everybody he contested against, and you've seen that up to now you've not seen any dissenting voice or anybody saying they want to go to court or they want to this or that. But in the case of the Igbos, you see that when Obi first got to the Labour Party, the first two antagonists he had were Igbo men who equally declared themselves as candidates, candidates.
They have settled
that, and now this one coming from a Father Mbaka again. That is Igbo always against Igbo, is not giving the other tribe.
It happens now. Even Tinubu had we have this man, this NP Bode George.
The Bode George is not an APC member now. And the Bode George
is Father Mbaka.
The Bode George,
Father Mbaka,
yes, now
a Labour Party member.
Father Mbaka is an APC member. So whatever is
APC member. I thought there was the time he had a role with the president.
Now when things were no longer, you understand how it's supposed to be, they fell apart. What I'm trying to say in essence is that it is not expected of a Father Mbaka to make
breaking news. Mbaka has apologized. He's forgiven.
He has apologized. Was he quoted out of context, or was he drunk when he was saying it, or what transpired? Why will he say it? See, we live in a country. There are some things can be forgiven, but cannot be forgotten. You understand? Some wounds. There are some wounds that, okay, you said I've forgiven it, but every day you see the wound, you understand.
The scar.
So the scar, when you see the scar, you cannot even forget what transpired. So I think our leaders should be wary of making all those inflammatory and provocative statements that can unsettle the polity and, you understand, draw us back, because I think that thing is a minus to the fast rising profile of a Peter Obi.
One message for Father Mbaka. One message.
Let him continue becoming controversial. I have chosen not. The only thing we cannot do is that because we live in an indoctrinated world where we are expected to be morally compliant. So they said we cannot insult or we cannot say derogatory words against so-called men of God in quote. You understand? Because I don't think we should take him serious. We cannot take him serious because at least we've seen a pastor who confidently, boldly told us that he has been told by God that he's the 16th president of Nigeria. That is the next president of Nigeria.
Look at what
but he went for the primaries and got 0 vote. So I don't know if the God is having different from the other gods that other people have.
Peter Obi replies for Mbaka. He said, "Dear Father Ejike Mbaka, Peter Obi is still here to know how I have offended you in person, and as a priest you are. You're my brother and Igbo man, and we can even go. We even go to the same church, the Catholic. How do you define stinginess?" He said he was stingy in your own dictionary, because I don't share money means. Does it mean if you don't share money you're stingy?
It is Father Mbaka that know why he can even come out to say to use that very big word, because it's a very powerful word that you say someone is stingy. It's an accusation. It's a big accusation. That means there must have been a transaction or something that has gone in between.
He was saying that he didn't support his
Peter Obi
to support his adoration ministry.
Okay, they support the adoration.
Do you know that those money politicians are sharing their state funds? It is not their personal money. Why must I spend extravagant with my money that is not my own just to prove that I'm not stingy? I have donated money to almost all the major secondary schools and universities in Nigeria, including hospitals. I have never made noise about it because I see it as a charity work. So you expect me to start singing about it? Mbaka, if stinginess means to save money and avoid wasting state funds, then I'm proudly stingy. What do you say about that? Do you like his style, Peter Obi, his style of politics?
To me, it's petty. To me, I'm always blunt. To me, it's petty. I don't expect a Peter Obi to reply a Father Mbaka. Reply a Father Mbaka is like somebody that wants to fight a pig must be ready to drag in the mud. You understand? What is before Obi is far weightier, more important than replying, you understand, an infinitesimal statement that has been discarded. Because from all indications, nobody clapped for Father Mbaka for making such a statement. People have already discarded it. So, like we are saying, Peter Obi should have prerogatives, he should have priorities, and that's why some people are like, instead of him to go to Egypt, you understand, Tinubu is canvassing for vote in Ekiti, and Atiku is mending fences, meeting with people on how to choose a vice president, while Peter Obi relies on the social media to help him, you understand, popularize himself, and is not working. We are not seeing him reaching out to the high and mighty, to the people that controls the regions, to those that matters, to those that will give him vote, to those that their voice, you understand, we transmute it. Because if some people support you, like yesterday, King Gibe, the running mate of MK Abiola, you understand, declared his support for Tinubu, and
he said he's the next president.
And I went on Twitter, and you can see how people rubbish him, because they see him as a betrayer, because eventually he betrayed MKO.
No, is it confirmed that he betrayed him?
Yes, now he betrayed MKO Abiola now, when Abiola was incarcerated, when during the people supposed to be here, when you are supposed to be holding forth. And another thing is, who will Peter Obi
That's the focus.
That's the focus. How politically relevant is such a person from?
Okay, let's look at the PDP. What the PDP had done, is it a step further or they are still stagnant? Choosing Okowa.
PDP to me, like I said in the past, since 2019, PDP to me has proven not to be a dynamic, vibrant opposition. When you say opposition, the decisions that will be coming from there will be tech. You will know. You will be able. Even you that you are a novice in the game, you will see that with the permutation. You understand? So I don't see it. You say stagnancy. There is nothing stagnant there. They are preparing for election next year. But to me, a Wike or an Udom Emmanuel would have been a better choice than Okowa. To me personally, is my opinion anyway, but I don't know what the PDP, what Atiku sees in an Okowa. He has been said to be a political juggernaut, a political technocrat that works behind the curtain and achieve results. I am expecting, hoping and willing to see how he's going to transform that to vote for Atiku in 2022.
I would like our engineers to help us put this Atiku Okowa 23 poster. It has been officially announced that
Atiku has.
Yes, the Facebook page of Atiku, he announced that Okowa is now the vice presidential candidate of the PDP. I like to get responses from those viewers. We have 83 people watching. I like you to put your likes. We have 83 likes. Please like the video, like the program, like the transmission. Okay, let's see the Atiku Okowa 23 posters. How do you look at it? Somebody say it's cool and unexpected.
It's unexpected, like I said. Everybody is like expecting a Wike, because what the APC is hanging on is the fact that Tinubu is willing to pick a Muslim as his running mate, not because of religion now, but because of the vote. They need votes, and they know they can get votes there. And the only problem I have with that is it only that when they pick a Muslim that they can get votes?
Okay, according to Gracious Garden, he says Okowa is the wrong choice for Atiku and PDP. Why do you say it's the wrong choice for Atiku and PDP?
That is the guy's opinion, which I think I agree a bit with, because Okowa to me is not firebrand enough, because election is about result. You understand? The reason for PSG to have Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar in the same team,
and they could not even win
it's because they want result, and they still have not been able to win the Champions League. So I believe that when you are going to war, or when you are going for anything of this, you go with your best.
There's a sentiment here. I call it sentiment. They feel that they can control Okowa. They cannot control Wike.
Who? That is, in fact, that is one of the major problems we have with our politicking here. The major problem is controlling. Why will you need to control somebody that is working? Why will you need to control somebody that is active? Why will you need to control somebody that is not deaf, that is not blind, that is doing what is expected of him? Why will some people sit behind somewhere and believe they can be controlling, puppeting other persons, doing their normal nomenclatural work? And that is to tell you that we have not gotten there. We have not gotten there because conscience is not the choice of who we are having as our elected representatives. Our elected representatives are always a result of whims and caprices of some persons who sat somewhere and who feel it is who they can control. Why do you need to control a Wike when a Wike, somebody, like I told you, somebody just said picking an Okowa means Atiku has lost 1.5 million Rivers vote, which will now.
What of the Southeast?
The Southeast, I think the Southeast, if you see the level of, I want to agree with you, like you said 2-3 days ago, that the rush for PVCs, you understand, this time around may eventually, you understand, make things, may eventually turn the tide of electioneering in 2023. Because the surge has now made us to realize that people can decide on their own to vehemently just vote somebody out and vote somebody in because people are
there's more voter awareness, empathy.
Yes, the people are already, the truth is there is apathy against the two ruling parties, and people are looking for a third alternative, you understand, that will suit them. But do that third alternative have the structures, have the requirement, have what it takes to battle those persons and outwit them? That is what we are yet to see. But I know by tomorrow, when we know his vice presidential candidate, then we will now know how, you understand, how strategic the choice of that person is and what that person can bring to table for him. But I know that the southeast people are resolute for a Peter Obi.
Baba Tope John says Okowa is not from the southeast. If
He's
PDP
from the south, yes,
wants to win this election, they need a pure southeast PP.
That is what
Momodu Imonsiki say PDP go nowhere. Okay, let's
so
look.
It's just like PDP is trying to help APC to continue perpetrating this rule over us.
Looking at the extension of a deadline, the House of Representatives has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to extend the June 30th, 2022 deadline for voter registration by 60 days to enable more eligible Nigerians to register, get their permanent voter card, and participate in the 2023 general elections. How do you look at this?
It's a right step in the right direction, and it is a proof that they are doing what is expected of them, because the election is still 8 months away, and we already know before that there is voters apathy. We already know before that people are not interested in voting. We already know before that people believe their votes don't count. But event has overridden that, because the current situation, the current political situation in the country has shown people the need, the necessity, and the treason to let their vote count, and they are now rushing for it. So with this extension by 60 days is good, because that is 2 whole months. That will reduce, because I heard that even in Abuja yesterday at area 10 at Amak, I heard that it has gone to the extent that thousands of people were there, and it has gone to the extent that the process is now monetized. It's now monetized.
Ikeja local government,
yes, I heard that authoritative
1,000 naira
is 1,005.
1,000 naira in Ikeja local for a form
to get not even that the PVC, just to get a form, then they will now give you a number, you now come the following day. So the process has become so rampant to the extent that people have now commercialized it. So if INEC can extend it by 2 months, it will reduce the tension, because people are rushing because of the deadline, and that is why they've been unable, like, see INEC, a whole AMAC that house the federal, the National Assembly, the federal executive, the International Conference Center, AMAC, Abuja Municipal Area Council, has only one machine for voter registration.
With the budget of the INEC, so they I don't know.
INEC has always told us, always inform us that the only thing that will not make them up to date is logistics. But I think this administration, irrespective of the fact that they failed us and they've not performed in other aspects of governance, INEC has not for once had any reason to complain that government did not make provision for these things. But why they are not adequate, why they are not enough, why they are not working, why they are not functional is what we did not know, and we will not know because we live in a government that lives on lies and propagandas. You understand? If you notice, this is the 5th time that the national grid will collapse. You understand, in this country, and we were said to have 23 power generating stations, and 20 of them are down. At a time, they lied to us in the beginning of this administration that they are going to take us from 3,000 megawatt to 7,000 megawatt, and at a time the Minister of Misinformation Minister of Information that has gone underground. I wonder why he has gone underground. He informed us at a time that Nigeria is now generating 7,000 megawatts, and that this is attributed to the performance of the presidency, of the activeness of President Muhammadu Buhari. But 3 days ago, the government was they can no longer lie for us. They can no longer deceive us. They were able to open up to us that out of 3,703 megawatts that we are managing nationally, we are now down to 9 megawatts. Not 900, 9 megawatts. And that is why you see that things are not moving, because our economy is being powered by generator. You understand?
The Aso Rock, they are using generator.
The Aso Rock is being powered by generator.
NEPA office
NEPA office is using generator. Even police station using generator and using a chain to lock it inside the police station. You understand? So
no, are they afraid of anything?
It has degenerated to that level. Probably, you understand? It has degenerated to that level. A generator can decide to jump. I mean, you know, when a generator is working, it's moving, so it can move.
It can from jump.
It can from Ikeja reach Alaba. So that's why they are now tying it down. So what we are saying, in essence, is that for the House of Rep member to make this pronouncement, they should follow it up. What they should not do, the mistake they should not make, is to expect anything from the red chamber. Anything under Ahmed Lawan they can never override. Nothing can work under Ahmed Lawan. This Senate of Ahmed Lawan is a rubber stamp Senate that will never do anything that is pro people. They will be subjugated to whatever the executive want them to do.
Somebody says
the Green Chamber. The Green Chamber is the vibrant and the closest arm to us and has more representation. As you can see, we have 360 there to the 108, and the 108 that used to be in the Senate were retired people that were former governors that went to the Senate, people that were former ministers that went to the Senate. So you are not expecting them to be pro people in thinking.
Let me read
some of the House of Reps is good. Let us have 60 days more so that the tension will reduce and more people will register, and we can have a fully participatory 2023 general election.
John says that this election will be sectionalized. South will vote for Tinubu, North for Atiku, and the East for Obi. So the VP candidates of the various parties will be very important in swinging the votes.
I love that word, swinging.
Yes,
and
nice one.
That is why the person that Obi must bring has to be somebody that is notable, that is a political bigwig and a juggernaut, not just a northerner.
Can you suggest one person?
I cannot. I'm not a Labour Party member. I don't know.
You can suggest from
you equally know that the person you equally know that the person he will pick must be a Labour Party member. He cannot pick outside the Labour Party.
Kazim Iyabode, PDP go nowhere, believe me. Mboka Nabisomoko, it's not matter about Southeast, it's South. Okowa is Delta. Drone affairs. I'm waiting for Wike's reaction to Okowa's selection as VP. Interesting time ahead. God's power Mulade. Okowa is good with Southeast or not. PDP can win. He say he's good with that. Southeast or not, PDP can win.
Everybody has their own opinion. That's his own opinion.
Okay, let's go to another topic. Today, let's look at the statutory delegates. The House and the President, they are in a row.
It is good for them. It is, in fact, it's a good riddance to a bad rubbish. The House, they forgot to a bad rubbish, because then when all of them were saying, President, sign the electoral act, sign the electoral bill, they did not read through. You understand? Nigeria. I
wonder how they allow that.
They shot themselves in the leg.
Most of them could not come back to the house.
107 out of the 360 are not coming back.
170.
Just because of they are not having statutory delegates to vote for them at the primaries, and now they are thinking of overriding the president. Yes, they have the constitutional and the conventional power to do it, but can they do it? Can they actually do it? Can they really do it? Have they overridden, you understand, the president before? Obviously they have not, you understand, but it is a realization of the fact that when you are digging grave, don't dig it too deep, because you don't know who might fall into it. They don't know that this section will come to haunt them, and now that they've been haunted, they are trying to override the president. Nigerians have moved beyond that. Whether statutory delegate or statutory delegate or delegated delegate is not our concern any longer. Our concern now is one man, one vote. How many as many people as possible we have their PVCs to vote, to queue behind whoever they want to vote for. So them trying to override the presidency is just a fight, an internal wrangling between the legislative and the executive. And before you say Jack Robinson, in the next 4-5 days you just watch NTA always love that. You just watch NTA that Buhari has hosted them to a dinner, and you will hear nothing about it any longer.
It will die down.
So it's just they are crying over spilled milk. The only interest they have in trying to override the president on is that statutory delegate dilemma, which has affected them and which is still going to affect them the more. So whether they like, they should do it. If they like, they should not do it. We know that by this, whatever decision they take will not stop the 2023 general election and will not prevent people from voting. After 2023, we now know whether we have to amend or do other things. But for now, Nigerians are not concerned about that electoral act again. The president has signed. He has told them this is what you should do. They defied him, not knowing that it will come back to haunt them. And now that they've been haunted, it is their business. Okay, let's look at one more topic. We are looking at National Youth Day, or World Youth Day, 16th of June 1967. It's in Soweto, where over 500 students were killed by the Soviet apartheid regime of South Africa. So that day was adopted as the World Youth Day. Now let's narrow it down to Nigeria. How far has the youth International
fared?
Youth Day, June 16, is a remarkable day worldwide, and from all indications I learned that even South Africa now has declared it as a public holiday. So today in South Africa it's an holiday. For those that are not aware, the International Youth Day is a commemoration of the mass killing of students in Soweto in 1976, on June 16, 1976 to be precise. Students, young children, processed about half a mile-long procession protesting against the apartheid governance in South Africa, protest against the ways and manner the whites are mishandling the blacks, the educational policies of the black. That was what led to the protest, and the apartheid leadership then sent out the police, and over 500 children were massacred and maimed that day, and this generated an international opprobrium which led to the international recognition of June 16 as the Day of African Child. And this day, I expect, should always be a day of sober reflection in the sense that it is a day that is set aside to check, to assess the impact of building youth for national capacity building. And it is expected to be a day where the youth will move to the next pedestal of how do we take over the mantle of leadership of our country. We are tired of you are leaders of tomorrow, you are leaders of tomorrow. At 35, at 40, a graduate cannot get a job because they will say you need a 10-year working experience. And in fact, by 35, they said you are too old to work. But at 70, 75, you can contest for election, you can rule. And that is why they are proposing a 72-year-old man to be the vice president to a 70-year-old man in a country where you have agile young men that can do things. I can recollect that the impact of this June 16 African Youth Day is always a day where stakeholders come together to build capacity for national development by encouraging the youth. But are we encouraging our youth? We are not, because insecurity has taken over the order of the day. And I don't even think that there is anywhere in this country today, Nigeria today, I don't know whether there is any program, whether in Lagos or Abuja, that is set aside by the government to celebrate these days. I don't know whether the civil society organizations organize one, though I am not aware of that. But I know that Sena clients, you understand, in Africa always take this day as very, very important. In fact, let me shock you. I can recollect that my first movement outside the shores of this country was when I attended the All Africa Student Union International Student Youth Day, June 16, 2000. That's 22 years ago. You understand? And if you look at the euphoria, the encomium, and what is attached to celebrating this day in other climes, it is a recognition of the youth as the foundation of tomorrow of each country. But here in our country, our youth were used for political thuggery, our youth engaged in 419, and our youth engaged in kidnapping and ritual, doing this and that, and we did not have, in fact we've lost it, our NOA. Like today I'm expecting National Orientation Agency to organize programs. Are they functional? They are not functional. Nothing is functional in Nigeria again. Every bureaucratic measures in Nigeria has been stagnant, obsolete, and moribund. Nothing seems to be working. Everybody is just waiting for 2023. Let this administration go. Let's have a new administration. Let's have a breath of fresh air, and let's see how we can go from there.
Okay, yes, we are gradually come to the end of the program. Pundits on Flip TV. We are still waiting for the APC and also other parties to present their vice presidential candidates.
Definitely, they have till 6 p.m. tomorrow to do that. But like I told you, the caveat there, the caprice there is that tomorrow on is just a formality. So we cannot clap on it. And like since we have about 8 months to, you understand, election itself, and there is a provision for substitution of your, you understand, your vice, then if Atiku reasons or sees the opera or the reaction from the people, is likely to change whoever is bringing tomorrow. And equally, if Tinubu, Obi, and Kwankwaso sees that people are not in terms or in tandem or did not agree with their vice, they can change it after tomorrow. But tomorrow, mandatorily, they will have to submit names. So let's see.
Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much for being part of the program. Please like the program. We love your participation and also your support. Mr. Haiburi, you can on Facebook. I'm Christian Chuku. You can contact me on Facebook, Christian Chuku. You'll see the picture on Facebook. Thank you very much for being part of the program. I'm Christian Chuku. I will say till tomorrow for another edition of the program, Pundits on Flip TV. I have with me my honorable Ido Israel
Aristotle.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now.
See you tomorrow.
Support, Mr.